Welcome back to Car Magazine's Performance Car of the Year event 2008. We're at Anglesey Circuit with nearly 30 of our favourite cars. Now earlier, Darren Turner, Aston Martin Le Mans driver, set a time in each to find out which is fastest. But this event's about more than just speed. So now we're going to pick our favourite 8, and from that a winner, and that car will be our Performance Car of the Year 2008. The hot hatch class was one of the toughest to call this year at Anglesey. We had the Focus ST Mount Tune, Astra VXR Nürburgring, and what about the Clio Cup? Light, revvy, responsive, it's everything that we love about a hot hatch. What could possibly stop it going through to the final 8?
Putting the Mini through to the final 8 ahead of the Clio was one of the most contentious decisions of this year's event. But on track, the Mini's gutsier engine, its Larry chassis and its overall feel-good factor helped it make the final cut. If you like your hot hatches on the wayward side, then you will love the Cooper S Works.
Here's the winner of our coupe class, the new Volkswagen Scirocco. The thing is, we're not actually sure whether it's a coupe at all, or just a hot hatch with ideas above its station. What we do know is that it's one of the best all-round performance packages you can get for the money, and that is why it's through to the final 8.
Essentially, the Scirocco's a sleeker Golf GTI. It's got the same punchy 197 brake horsepower engine, the same unflappable chassis. It beat the Audi TTS, which was fun, but not as much fun as we'd hoped, and it beat Mazda's uglier facelifted RX-8, which needs an extra slug of power really to make it through to the final 8 next time.
Okay, onto the Fat Club now. Minimum entry 2 tons. What about the Audi RS6? Twin turbo V10, 570 horsepower, great build quality, all that space. So how do we end up choosing this? We want to hate the X6. We don't like the way it looks. It's only got 4 seats. I mean, what is the point of a fast 4x4? But we can't hate the BMW X6 because we've driven it and it's absolutely brilliant. If you wanted a fast estate car, there are better examples than the Audi RS6. You have an M5 Touring for one. But if you want a fast SUV, and some of you will, then this is the only car worth having. Okay, next up, these two. What are they? Turbo Nutter rally cars is probably what we'd call them. Evo and Impreza. It's a war that's been on for 15 years. They're both new for this year. The Impreza's gone all hot hatch on us. The Evo stayed true to its sort of saloon car roots. It's the Evo that's gone through. Here's why. Now don't get the idea that it's any sort of landslide victory. The Impreza's much better value, and its flat 4 engine's more characterful than the Evo's inline 4. But the Evo just feels so mischievous. It's got sharper steering, it wants to turn into corners, it's more mobile when you get there. And in 360 form, it's much, much quicker. Sorry Subaru, it's the Evo that gets our vote. We had 3 super saloons at Anglesey this year. We had the Lexus ISF, Mercedes C63 AMG and the BMW M3 saloon. They all follow the same sort of recipe. Big V8 at the front, rear-wheel drive. They're all a lot of fun, but one of them was head and shoulders above the rest, and that was the M3. Really, it's not that much of a surprise that the M3's made it through to the final 8. At last year's Performance Car of the Year event, the Coupe M3 came second, beaten only by the Audi R8. Now there's a saloon version, this car. Everything we love about the standard M3, but with the practicality of 2 extra doors. Out on track, it was unbeatable in its class. 2 seconds a lap faster than its nearest rival. Nearly as fast as a 911. A proper little Q car, this thing. Brilliant fun. We've got some pretty fast cars here today, but there's only one set of machines that were built for pounding around a circuit like this, and it's the track day cars.
The competition was tough, the Atom was blindingly fast, the Lotus 211 beautifully balanced.
KTM has blown them all out of the water this year with the Crossbow.
KTM? They're in bikes, don't they? What the hell do they know about cars? Well, it turns out quite a lot, actually. The design's pure science fiction, the materials are pretty exotic too, loads of carbon fibre, it feels beautifully solid. If the McLaren F1 team ever set out to build a track day car, I reckon it would look something like this.
We've had the hot hatches, the coupes, saloon cars, rally cars, we've had a lot. Some great machinery. But really there are only 2 cars that are in contention to win Performance Car of the Year, and they're here behind me. The Nissan GT-R and the Lamborghini Gallardo 564.
the supercar group, we had a real mix of stuff, from the Aston DBS to the crazy Gumpert Apollo, the only car to do a sub 1 minute lap. And then there was Porsche's GT2, what a car that is. But ultimately, it was the Lamborghini Gallardo that went through. It looks like a proper supercar, it goes like a proper supercar. It was the car everyone wanted to take home. Yet on the track it was massively fast but never intimidating in drive, and that is why it made it through to the final two. But let's not forget that the Nissan is barely any slower on track or road, and it costs a third as much. It annihilated its coupe competition on the circuit, and it cost just £50,000. This car is an absolute bargain.
I've spent 3 days at Anglesey with 11 other journalists, pounding nearly 30 cars around the circuit. We've been trying to find a winner, and we've got one. Our performance car of the year is the Lamborghini Gallardo 564. So why do we choose the Lamborghini? I mean, after all, the GTR was spectacularly quick on the track. But this event is all about fun. It's all about which car's the most exciting, and in the final reckoning, that was the Lamborghini. The Gallardo 564 is not perfect. The pedal feel from these optional carbon ceramic brakes is rubbish. There's a real dead spot at the top. The also optional e-gear transmission, it's a bit clunky around town, less of a problem on the circuit. But it feels like a real event, this car. The engine's Titanic direct injection, it's even quite efficient, but it's massively powerful and it sounds like a real power station. It's a proper supercar. It's our performance car of the year.
So there you have it. If you want to read the full story, grab a copy of the November 2008 issue of Car Magazine.